What's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here, and today I am joined by writer and director Ava Bounds to talk about her new short film, The Witches of Pool Bottom, which takes the very real pressure surrounding teenage body image and turns them into something darkly comic, surreal, and very physical. Ava,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for talking to me, Mike. It's a pleasure. A pleasure.
So, The Witches of Pool Bottom takes something as recognizable as the pressure surrounding teenage body image and turns it into this heightened, almost surreal world.
Mm.
What made that the right way for you to tell this particular story?
I think it's because so many films about body image that I've seen, they're all dramas or they're complete horrors. And it's more what I wanted the effect to be on the audience. I walk away from these films about body image and I'm just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel much better of having watched this. Whereas I was like, the effect I want is kind of to mock the beauty industry and have a sense of humor with body image in general and just leave people almost walking out with a smile. So that's what I try to do. I try to go into, rather than just looking at somebody complaining about body image or the process of that, going into the mind and showcasing what actually, I mean, I don't know if this goes on in your mind, but what kind of personify these absurd insecurities that we have that the beauty industry puts a label on. Like you've got this issue, and so we've got this solution, and yeah, mock it, and just be bold and just laugh at it. Because at the end of the day, that's how I get through a lot of things is laughing at it with a sense of humor. So leaning into that kind of mindscape of just humor and absurdity was just, I think it's, I don't know, hopefully it succeeded in that.
And in doing this, and I don't want to spoil too much, but when this film gets so physical, particularly during the confrontation in the pool, I would love to hear about how you and your fight choreographer, Jack Stockdale-Haley, and your choreographer, Darren Royston, approached creating these sequences that could be so funny and outrageous, but still make sure to reflect Rachel's emotional journey.
Yeah, I think, I mean, those two are just a cracking pair of people. Like, because Darren, he inspired going back in time in the film because he's a UNESCO heritage specialist dance
Ah.
artist. So they just brought great energy and they were just, I just said, get creative. Show me what you can do and the most absurd thing you can do. But like, yeah, the undercurrent of just rage, like we feel like, hopefully it's never too like, I don't know, out of this world. You can see in her character, she'd do that. She'd be hating, and it's also in the way that Anja performed it, the actress, is that you believed it. She would treat these, I don't know, these women, if you saw your insecurities like in front of you, you do the same. So I think, yeah, it was a mixture of their expertise and creative genius and her selling it as believing her as a character. And I think a lot of people would relate to what she's going through. Yeah.
And speaking about her and what she does, I mean, she communicates so much of this with her expressions and her physicality, not dialogue. So
Mm.
as you were working with her to develop the character of Rachel, what were the conversations like between you two as you developed this journey?
I think it was I did really well casting her because she's just so versatile and she reads so much in her face. But when before the shoot we met up and we were just like dissecting the character, but more so like how because actor is how you see yourself in the character. We were dissecting because she's been through like every female's been through issues of body image or acne or whatever, and she came out of the experience saying it's almost like a th cathartic experience because
Yeah.
like this is her battling her demons in front of, I don't know, 20 crew members. She was so vulnerable. So I think rather than tapping into this kind of random woman called Rachel, it was her tapping into herself and what she's been through. And it was the same for me writing the script. I was coming from a place of vulnerability, which hopefully is what makes it resonate with her and with other people. But yeah, it was just tapping into who she is and what she's been through. And I think that kind of showed into it was believable how she was even looking in the mirror. She's done it a million times, analyzing every bit of the face. And
Yeah.
so easy to direct. Very, very good actress indeed.
And in putting this together, I had to say there were some really inventive props and visual elements to show this heightened world. How
Yeah.
did you approach creating those pieces and deciding what could exist? And without spoiling it too much, was there one in particular that you really enjoyed seeing come to life?
I feel like, well, because when I wrote the script, I purposely gave myself no limitations. I was like, whatever crazy idea you have, write it down, okay? Didn't make producers very happy, but it meant that we had to, we didn't use any AI or any kind of CGI or anything like that. We had to get creative. We had to use practical effects. It was so much fun. It was so much fun the art director was like, why am I making this? And he just had to get if you see the behind the scenes, like I will spoil it's like the exploding zit. You think,
Yeah.
how have they made that? But it was literally just icing cake fondant on a stick
Oh,
in front of the camera going towards it. It was a really difficult shoot for people kind of collabing in different departments, but it just was so much fun. It was a great set to be on. Whereas it'd be different if we did use like a lot of the effects, but we had to get creative, and I think it showed in the film. You felt it quite textured and gross, and that's what I wanted. So it was great.
and editing the piece because you edited it as well, I believe. So you had some.
Jeez, man. We don't talk about that edit. That was the choppiest edit ever. If you actually sit and look at the timeline, there's like every shot is like a second putting together this random, oh my God. But no, but that's it. I think that's what sells a lot of the gags is just
Yeah.
playing with timings and speeding up, slowing it down. And it was a whole thing. And the music as well. The sound designer was fantastic. Tom, he just like anywhere that you can look for a bit of humor and gross them out even more, lean into that. I said, be creative, be bold, be weird, because that's what it is, you know? So, yeah, it was a process, the edit, you know? Took a long time.
And because you didn't do enough on this between writing it and directing it and editing it and also editing the music, I'm curious. There were some really wonderful, distinctive musical selections chosen that accompanied those different moments.
Yeah.
So, in working with that, how did you approach finding the right music to match each sequence? And how did you
Yeah.
work to blend those? Did how did the choreographer come back in? Because I'm sure it was a united effort to find these
It was
pieces.
definitely using everyone's creative recesses of the brains to come together. And it was, I went with a composer who actually wrote an incredible score for it, but it felt it was beautiful. It was beautiful, but this film isn't beautiful. It's bold and weird and wild. So I feel like these patchy musics from all over the globe, all over the centuries, and I kind
Yeah.
of shoved them together with plasters. Like, I think that worked. I think it
Yeah.
brought out the dissonance in what the hell is this? So, no, it was original work from my friends. Some of it was just, I don't know, random old tracks that the choreographer sent me and said, that's not in the domain, just use it. I was like, okay, fine. But no, it was a really fun experience, just putting it all together, just having fun with it, you know? And I think you can kind of hear that in the score. It's just madness. But
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you hear the music, but you don't see the levels of random sound effects of cows and babies and, I don't know, some ancient kung fu masters that I put in there. It's just, I don't know, any more absurdity. Yeah, welcome it, welcome it.
And it also played into the costumes I love when we were going through all these different time zones. So what were those conversations like to make these look so distinct?
Yeah, I think that's it. Like you say, we were going so because the whole premise is just absurdity, leaning into the stereotypes of the beauty industry. We were leaning into the stereotypes of the Vikings. I know they didn't have horns on their head, it's a stereotype, but we're gonna go into that. And I feel like you're right. Same with the music, make the costumes so distinct, and wild and crazy. And I knew what I wanted them to look like. I knew kind of the color palette. But no, that's up to the costume designers. They were fantastic because the budget was so limited. Again, they got really, really creative, and you could almost feel the fabric. I mean, they weren't historically correct, but who cares? You know, it's art.
Well, and it's interpretive. And I mean, I couldn't help but thinking because there were, and I won't spoil them all, but there's three witches so I saw the whole Shakespearean influence of, okay, we're coming at this from a triad. We're going to choose the right three insecurities,
Yeah, yeah,
that you had. And there are so many more, but
yeah.
and I just had to say the humor worked so well. And you talked about the exploding zit as being one fun feature. As you've now seen this come together, was there a particular visual or sequence that was exciting to put together to see?
I think, oh God, I think my favorite would be the final when she finally gets rid of each single one has the final like the kick and the face mask and the hair monster. It was just like full craziness, and I hope that really because it was its progression. It got weirder and weirder and weirder, and I hope that was the final thing that just shocked everybody. Um, but no, it was just. Yeah, I hope I mean yeah, like you said, there's so many insecurities I could have gone for. And I know my friend who worked on the film, she's doing a similar film to this that is about menopause and aging women and
Uh,
wrinkles and all this stuff. It's endless. It's endless. But I hope you can substitute whatever you're going through into these witches because at the end of the day it's the same. We hate them, but we can't
yeah.
get rid of them. So you just embrace them. And that's the end of the answer. Yeah.
And now you're moving forward and developing your first feature film, which is really
Mm.
exciting. So, what's exciting you the most about moving from the short form into the longer form?
What's exciting me? God, it's a hard journey, Mike. I feel like what's exciting me the most is just these shorts, they feel unfinished. Like I feel like I kind of got in and got out very quickly, whereas I can have so many fun sequences like that in a longer film. I'm like, this is creative freedom. So no, I'm sticking. My feature still has like elements of absurdity and surrealism, and I think I've got an equivalent of The Witches, but some other form. But no, it's just great that I can what I can do in 7 minutes. If I can do that on a bigger scale and getting even deeper into the mind of the audience, that's what excites me. Like it's endless, you know. But it's hard, it's difficult, but I've got to do it now and rather than never. So yeah, it's fun.
And as you reflect on the witches of Pool Bottom and get ready to move forward, what would you say is one best practice that you have developed as a filmmaker that you are excited to take into future work? And is there a particular learning curve that, you either saw in this or previous that you're like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna steer clear of that?
I feel like for me, I kind of for like sets of stressful environments. They're like people, even the calmest people, they kind of lose their stuff with the stress of the time and the pressure and everything. I do a thing called Tai Chi. I don't know if it's like an ancient Chinese calming, moving meditation. And I did that for the first time on this set, and it totally changed like the whole dynamic because we brought people together for maybe 10 minutes and just did it. And so I think moving forward, I just had a little inkling of that. But I think going on to future sets, I want to do that. That is something I want to bring in as a habit because it not only calms everybody down, but it brings them all together. And a united set is such a powerful one. So I think that's yeah, what I want to bring forward, even though it's a bit strange.
And one final question. When audiences finish watching The Witches of Pool Bottom, what's something you hope stays with them after the credits roll?
I think it's a couple of films. I think reasons. I think it's one is like you're not alone in this. I think I made it to get what I'm going through out there and people resonate with it and come and say, yeah, I'm going through the same thing. So realize you're not alone. It's a human experience. And also take life a little bit less seriously. Look at the absurdity of things. You can't be perfect. You can't be everyone's illusion of perfect. It's impossible. You'll always be ever changing. So I think the more that you think you embracing internally, no external factor can do anything to you. It's a journey though. It's a journey embracing yourself and your body image. And I think this film definitely helped me. It helped Anja, the main actress. But no, it's a journey, but it gets better. It gets better. Just keep smiling and laughing. It's my goal. Yeah.
Lena, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me and congratulations on the film. The Witches of Pool Bottom is screening at the HollyShorts Film Festival this month. We will include information in the description below on how you can get tickets if you're in the area and also social media information on the film and the team. If you enjoyed this conversation and don't want to miss any more of these filmmaker interviews, spoiler-free reviews, and award season coverage, you can find me on all social media platforms and also make sure you click that little subscribe button so you can hear all of the wonderful cinematic content coming your way. Until next time, this is Cinephile Mike reminding you to take a break and watch something new. Ava, have a wonderful day.
You too. See you later.